We have a guest that is Jorge Carrillo. He's a catcher for Team Mexico and current catcher for Toros de Tijuana. Estamos aquí en Grind Baseball TV con el catcher de la selección de México y el catcher de Toros de Tijuana. We're here with Coach Ricardo and Coach Wesley.
¿Qué onda? ¿Cómo estás?
Bien, bien, ¿ustedes?
Aquí con el calorcito. ¿Qué dice ahí Arizona? ¿Cómo está todo?
Sí, también. Acá ya se está poniendo en los 90s y eso, entonces está duro ya.
Ya.
¿Estás en AZ entonces?
Ahorita estoy en AZ, ajá. Aquí estoy en AZ y pues esperando que nos digan qué va a pasar.
Okay. So, Jorge Carrillo, you were born in Tijuana, you were raised in Tijuana, and then you moved to Arizona, right?
Yes, born and raised in TJ. I used to, take Jaciel all the time over there in basketball when we were little. But no, yeah, born and raised there, and then moved to Tempe when I was 15. And the rest of my life until I signed has been here in Tempe.
See, for many of you guys that are watching us right now, I know we both play baseball, but we didn't meet playing baseball. We met actually playing basketball. That was my first sport that I ever played when I was like 4. That was your first sport?
Yes, my dad was actually a basketball player, so that was my first sport that was taught to me. But I started playing at the same time. I was playing basketball at 4, and then I was playing baseball at 4. But I was definitely better at basketball early in my life.
Nice.
Jaciel remembers, he knows.
Yeah.
So, ahora dinos poquito de dónde naciste, dónde vienes, dónde te mudaste en español para que la gente de México y los pochos, ¿no?
De Toros. Sí, nací, crecí en Tijuana. Igual, como lo mencioné, fui compañero y en contra de tu hermano, Jaciel, y nos mudamos a Estados Unidos cuando yo cumplí los 15 años, nos mudamos a Phoenix, y desde ese entonces me quedé aquí hasta que firmé profesional y he andado por todos lados, pero de los 15 a los 21 estuve aquí en Phoenix, pero somos tijuanenses.
Platícanos un poco de la transición que tuviste, todos la tuvimos, ¿no? Yo también llegué un poco antes, llegué como a los 12 años, pero la transición que fue de México hacia Arizona en lo académico, en la vida social y en el béisbol, el lenguaje, la barrera del lenguaje, ¿cómo te ayudó el béisbol? ¿Qué te ayudó a desenvolverte no solo en la escuela, pero también en tu vida diaria?
Sí, la verdad que sí fue difícil, fue muy difícil al principio. Yo no sabía nada de inglés. Sabía lo esencial que tú aprendes viendo televisión, viendo béisbol en inglés, pero nada. Entonces sí fue muy difícil. El primer año fue complicado, no podía hablar con mucha gente. Me acuerdo que encontré la manera de preguntarle al maestro de PE de dónde estaba el juego el equipo de béisbol, que qué tenía que hacer. Encontré la manera de preguntarle. Él era uno de los coaches, me facilitó eso. Entonces, en lo académico tuve problemas. De hecho, mi única C que tuve en la high school fue en arte, y porque no le entendía nada a la maestra. Fue mi primer año.
Y ahora tienes un arte en hacer framing, ¿no?
Eso no, aparte de que no creo que soy muy artístico, tampoco es que me iba a sacar una A, pero sí fue difícil. Obviamente mi primer año yo tomé clases de bilingües para aprender inglés, y pues nomás la de arte fue la única que no fue bilingüe y me saqué una C, pero de ahí en adelante en lo social, fíjate que yo afortunadamente tengo una personalidad que no me importa mucho lo que diga la gente. Entonces me gusta, no sé, hacer reír, pasarla bien. Y me acoplé rápido con el equipo de béisbol. Me aceptaron rápido. La mayoría eran americanos. Entonces eso me ayudó también a agarrar el idioma más rápido. Y la verdad que sí, la pasé difícil, pero a final de cuentas, académicamente, gracias a Dios, soy bueno.
Sí, qué bueno.
¿Cómo se llama la high school? ¿Lo que fuiste?
McClintock High School.
Ahí en Tempe.
Ahí en Tempe.
In Tempe.
Okay.
So now we're gonna go baseball in high school. I guess you had 4 good years because you got drafted out of high school and you didn't sign.
Yes,
So
yes.
tell us about that. Why you didn't sign?
Yeah, it was tough, man. At the beginning, I actually started as a freshman year. I was in JV, didn't make a varsity team. I got moved up to varsity about halfway in point, and you know, did well, thankfully, and then just went on to have a pretty good career. Couple all city teams, all state, and all that good stuff. But I didn't sign because for me, it was always put by my mom, especially, that academics were very important, and so I've always went with that mentality, that mindset, and it was pretty easy actually. When they called me, it was the Blue Jays. They called me and offered me $100,000. They were like, okay, so we're offering for $100,000, blah blah blah, and I'm like, no. It's like, what? They actually like took it by surprise, and I was very like, it wasn't. It could have. I think it would have been maybe some crazy like $500,000. Maybe it would have made me think, but I was pretty set on going to college, and at this point, I didn't even have a scholarship or a place to go
Can you
when I
tell
got.
us, like, I'm sorry for interrupt, but what time it was when they offer you that amount of money? So you
Yes.
know that for a lot of colleges, it's they start signing guys a year before, or maybe 2 years or 3 years before.
Yes.
Can you tell
Yes.
us the time frame of that draft or signing talks with not having a place to go?
Okay. Yeah. So you, like I said, I didn't have. I can't remember very well if it was right after the draft or right before the draft that I got my first scholarship to Central Arizona. I had one D1 that wanted me. I think it was UTA, Texas. I think
Arlington,
it was
University of
Arlington.
Texas,
Yes,
Arlington.
yes, that one. But they offered me very little, like 20% scholarship, and obviously my parents never money, and I wouldn't be able to pay for that. So when it was obviously the draft is June, so um, I want to say, you know, the talks came around that time where it was the same day that I got drafted, which it was the second or third day, and then they called me and they made me that offer. The offer wasn't made before or after the draft. It was right after I got drafted. They called me and told me this, and I think they caught them by surprise, the fact that I was very certain on my decision of not wanting to sign, and they didn't offer any more. So I really didn't want to sign. I didn't think I was ready, and I think that's a big point with the young kids, that you have to make sure you're ready, because it's a
Right,
grind.
it's a grind.
Yes,
What round was that?
that was the 28th round.
28th round, and you got asked. You got to offer $100,000.
Yes,
That's a
28th.
lot of money for
A
that
lot of
round.
money. No,
Yes.
and wait till we get to JUCO, so I tell you how much I turned down.
Yeah. So it's good that you talk about in theory it was kind of late, right, for you to get a scholarship or get an offer from a college. What I tell the kids here, just be patient and the time will come. You just got to keep working and then never give up, because there's a lot of catchers, there's a lot of players, there's a lot of pitchers. So time is going to be there. Just keep working at it, because a lot of
Yeah,
kids they're starting their senior year and they're like, oh, I don't have a place to go. I was like, I'll take care of that. You take care of baseball, and I'll find you a place. But just be
definitely.
patient.
Definitely. It's a process that is hard to understand, because you also have to wait to see who the college juniors or seniors get drafted, who's going to come back or not. And at the end of the day, it usually takes all the way to the draft for the universities or colleges to make those decisions. Be like, okay, this guy got drafted. We didn't think he was going to he was going to sign. Now we need a catcher. Okay, so who do we got? And then that's when, you know what I'm saying,
Exactly.
stuff comes. So yeah, patience is a big, and you know, we'll talk more about the professional, but patience is a big virtue in this business, because at the end of the day, it is a business. But if you're not patient, this thing will eat you alive.
We're gonna say hi to Cooper Sun Bats. They're from New York. We get sponsored by Cooper Sun Bats. Aquí
Yeah,
tienes uno que puedes agarrar aquí de una vez, Cooper Sound.
yeah, I got Cooperstown. I know the guy. He's a good friend of mine. We met
Yeah.
in Binghamton when I was in Double A, and He made me some bats, and he actually made me the only pink bat I've ever had. So I still have that one.
He's gonna send you more. I'll take care of that. So he's gonna ask you a few questions of Central Arizona that we know it's a top in the nation program.
So here's something that we get asked a lot. You know, when we try to recruit kids, like our philosophy is our community. We are based off the South Bay, pretty much the Sweetwater Union District. We get a few guys that are not from our district, but most likely they fit in our program, right? But a lot of the kids are like, I want to go D1. If it's not D1, I don't want nothing.
Out of high school.
Out of high school, when they're sophomores, and they're probably like 5'8", 150 pounds. So they're probably not gonna get looked by a big D1 like ASU or like any other school that they would love to go. Yes. Tell us about those 2 years in Central Arizona. What was the difference? What made the difference between, you know, being a star catcher at ASU as a junior, then, you know, and taking those first 2 years, you know, as experience? Tell us about your JUCO experience. What made you move up to that level?
It's a subject that people, parents, players really don't have, I guess the knowledge of it. You know what I'm saying? And if you go watch a JUCO game, especially in Arizona, Texas, California, that level of playing, it's a very good level. Most of them could play D1 baseball, and it didn't happen for any reason. It could have been grades, it could have been whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely not a bad route. It's a route that I actually would recommend, just because you have more options. When you go to D1, you can only get drafted after your junior year, and we're in JUCO, you can get drafted every year. And in my own case, I got I went to Central. I had to fight for a spot because, like I said, I didn't have a scholarship, or I wasn't this big recruited guy. And
out of JUCO, right? We're talking about JUCO.
We're talking about out of high school to go into JUCO.
Yeah,
so that was the only offer that I had. It happened to be one of the best programs in the state and in the country, because that year we went to the national championship. And I had to fight for my spot. There was a sophomore that was there. I had to take him down, and I had to go with that mentality. So, like I said, I actually had a really good year. I think I ended up hitting like 350 that year. And
with Wood.
With Wood, yes. That's another good thing about Arizona League, because I know California League is metal. And so, and then I had a bunch, all of a sudden, all these scouts know about me and start talking to me. I'm getting all these. I just still didn't get that many D1 schools. I got some, but I was certain again. I was very certain. I actually didn't get drafted after my freshman year, because I told every single scout, I do not want to get drafted. I'm not going to sign. And I didn't get drafted, and they all wanted me. They were interested in me, at least, to, you know how scouts are. You never know, but they were interested. So I had to make sure I didn't feel ready. I wanted to get at least 2 years under my belt of grind and academic stuff, and that was a big plus for me. I actually almost committed to Oregon, because I was going to be the first year. My sophomore year was going to be the first year of the program. I took a visit there, and I loved it, man. I mean, how can you not love Oregon?
Right? Who wouldn't?
I mean, and I was going to be the main guy, and I was all pumped up. Next thing I know, Murphy calls me and is like, "What are you doing?" He was actually yelling at me. It's like, "What are you doing? You can't sign with them." I'm like, "Murph, you've never talked to me. What do you want me to do?" And so he's like, no, don't sign yet, or don't commit. So the next day I came back and I took a visit, even though it's right here. I took a visit to Arizona State, and I think that helped me a lot to make my decision easier.
And a quick question before we talk about your experience in the College Tour Series. You see, you're talking about all this, talking to scouts, not getting drafted your senior year, not signing, getting drafted your freshman year, or telling scouts you're not going to sign your freshman year.
Yeah.
And then
because you were not ready.
And then trying to make a decision whether on your sophomore year whether you're going to sign you're gonna go to Oregon, you're gonna go to ASU or maybe another program. Like, who helped you through that process? Like, I know your parents come from Mexico, just like my parents. Their education was in Mexico, it's not here, so their knowledge is not there when it comes to like that decision making about what's the best school for you, what's the best route, whether how much money it will be good enough for you to sign. Like, who helped you, who walked you through that process?
I was lucky enough to find agent slash advisor, because you can't have an agent yet.
Yep.
So he helped me a little bit, but you also have to make your own research. You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to know, looking at, if you look at ASU players, you see that most of them get drafted pretty high. Most of them are successful in the minor leagues. You hear about, I don't know, Jason Kipnis when I was a sophomore in high school, and within 2-3 years he was in the league, or he was like a top prospect playing in the futures game or whatever. And so you have to be able to know, but most importantly, you have to be able to know that you're ready, because you have to know that you're going to play every day. And that is not as easy as it sounds. Whenever you're in high school, whenever you're in college, and then you practice every day, you're doing whatever every day, but it's not the same knowing that you're going to play every day and that it's going to be very stressful. It's going to be very challenging, and you have to be ready for that mentally. And obviously you have to know, you always have to have a plan B. You always have to know, be realistic and know, you know what, I have to know if I'm good enough, okay, I'm going to make it. But if not, then what? What if I would have signed out of high school and I get $100,000 after taxes is what, 60 grand?
Yep.
I blow that stuff in a car, in a house, or whatever. Next thing you know, I'm not even 2 years in the minor leagues. I'm 20 years old. I don't have a degree. I don't have any experience. I'm out of the system. And then what now? You know what I'm saying? You have to be able to go through all the pros and cons that come with signing early, or taking your time and be like, okay, I have 3 years under my belt, or 2 years under my belt of school. What do I got to do now? If I don't fail, I can go back for 2 years of school, man, and I'll be good. By the time I'm 23, 24 years old, I have my degree and I go on with my life. So a lot of pros and cons, man. You have to think, yeah, you need advisors, your parents, and all that stuff. At the end of the day, it's your decision, and you have to be able to know, like I said, the good and the bad of everything. Be ready for it.
Right. Now we're going to talk about the JUCO grind, because that's a grind. It is a grind.
Yes.
Especially in Arizona, it's over 100 degrees every single day. During the winter, it's super cold. Tell us about that grind, because like you said, you went to Central Arizona fighting for a spot.
Yes.
Even though you got drafted.
Yes.
Makes sense? Even in it, and it was a high round with good amount of money. So a lot of kids think that I got drafted out of high school, they offer me this whatever amount of money, I'll be fine. I'm just gonna walk through whatever program and be the starting catcher. Tell us about that grind, and how hard is it to just be mental tough to be there?